Applesauce is so easy to make. It's like the easiest thing ever. And it tastes really good too when it's homemade like this. You can add spices like cinnamon and stuff, but I just like it plain. And I'm gonna do some baking with it today. After I set the chickpeas to simmer, I got started on testing a marinated tofu feta recipe for the Cooking Circle, which is my membership where I share cooking videos and recipes. I use my granite mortar and pestle to press tofu usually, and pressing tofu just helps rid it of excess water, which means it will better absorb flavors. For the marinade, I sliced some shallot, some garlic, and some lemon zest. I also juiced the lemon. I tore the tofu into feta-like chunks. And I frizzled all of those ingredients in lots of olive oil until golden. And then added that into the tofu. I added some spices, lemon juice, salt and pepper, and left the tofu to marinate, and it turned out really, really delicious. After the cleaning break, I got started on testing a raspberry tahini skillet cookie recipe that I was really excited about. This was for the Cooking Circle as well. This is a gluten-free recipe, which is always an extra challenge when it comes to baking. And it's basically a giant cookie that's baked in a cast iron skillet. I used some of that applesauce I made. Applesauce is a really good ingredient for vegan baking. It makes things moist and has a pretty neutral flavor. This is so good. The texture needs a little work, but I think I know how to fix it. But I love the combination of raspberries and tahini and chocolate. It's just so delicious. And it's a giant cookie. And the last thing I made that day was a chickpea salad using the chickpeas I cooked earlier and some of that tofu feta. I wanted a lot of strong, pickly flavors, which go so well with chickpeas. So I did some artichoke hearts, some olives. I really like crushing olives for a more irregular, fun shape and texture. I sliced up some red onion. And for some more fresh and juicy flavors, I added some cucumbers and some radishes. The feta was really good in this salad, and I used some of the marinade as the dressing, then added a bit more olive oil and some salt. The salad made a really delicious dinner with some bread. Good morning. We just got back from the farmer's market, and this is actually the last weekend of the farmer's market being indoors. And then next weekend it moves to a park outdoors that's walking distance from where I live. Means that spring is officially here. So the market is still warming up in terms of produce. It's a lot of really beautiful greens, but things like asparagus and strawberries and radishes are still coming, maybe like in the next month or so. So here's what I got. Got some spinach, lots of beautiful baby bok choy, some stir-fry greens. I forget what these are called, but I love having these for breakfast. Spring onions, so delicious. Some chives. This is the second weekend that they've been around, and they're also really delicious. And these ones don't have flowers on them. The ones I got last week had like beautiful purple flowers on them. And I've been getting this every single weekend. This is a whole pound of shiitake mushrooms, but the mushrooms are just so fresh and beautiful, and they taste really good. Look how perfect they are. So I'm gonna put all of this away, and then I think I'm gonna make some oatmeal for breakfast. My favorite way to make oatmeal is to use a combination of rolled oats and steel cut oats. The steel cut oats stay intact and contribute a really lovely bite, while the rolled oats kind of melt away and make the porridge really creamy. I like to make a big batch and reheat the leftovers throughout a few days. So I do 1 cup of rolled oats and 1 cup of steel cut oats and about 7 cups of water. I just cook the oats in water with some salt for about 30 minutes, stirring once in a while. And they turn out really creamy and make for such a cozy meal. That morning I had them with some mango that I had around. That was me trying to decide which way to cut the mango. And I love eating around the pit. It's such a chef's treat. And I usually don't sweeten my oats, but I like to add some sort of nut or seed butter. Today I did sunflower butter because that's what I had. And then for dinner that night, I used the goodies from the farmer's market to make really simple rice bowls. I stemmed the shiitake mushrooms, and right now I'm really into tearing mushrooms instead of slicing them. I like the uneven pieces and the scraggly edges get nice and crispy. I just sauteed the mushrooms in some olive oil with salt. To saute mushrooms, I always find that it's best to leave them alone for a while so that they can properly brown. And then I cooked some rice. I always use my freezer bouillon and rice, and it makes for such delicious rice. I highly recommend. I sliced up the green onions. And I used the entire thing, tops included. I removed the mushrooms from the skillet and sauteed the onions in the same skillet. Also sliced up some of those chives. Then once the onions were done, I added the mushrooms back in and mixed everything together. Added lots of black pepper, fluffed the rice, and served everything together. Simple dinners like these are always my favorite. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.